I recently did a video on Glenn Beck making false claims about God. You can find it and the details on my blog. To sum his lies up, he showed up on the O'Reilly Factor boasting he didn't run with the Shirley Sherrod story. Beck is gloating with half the truth. He didn't run the edited tape on his Fox News cable TV show to claim she's a racist. The half of the truth he ignores is he did use the edited tape on his radio show to claim she's a racist. Where God comes in the story is Beck showed up in Kansas City to tell an audience of Beckerheads the reason he didn't use the edited Sherrod story is because God told him not to. Fox News ignored Beck's Sherrod charades. Well, actually it's worse than that. Fox News' big star Bill O'Reilly helped Beck repeat a lie. That's not to say America's Christian Culture Warrior Network isn't sensitive to folks making false claims about God. Let a Democrat do it and watch the pack of partisan hypocrites pounce.
Longtime Congressman Charlie Rangel is facing an ethics trial, but rather than take a plea deal, Rangel said he got guidance from a higher power.
How lucky you are when God tells you that you don't have to take a plea. That you can tell them that let the facts speak for themselves. I exaggerated. I really didn't talk with God. She hasn't talked with me recently.
All right, well, let's ask Father. Yeah, he said she hasn't talked to me recently. But let's ask Father Jonathan Morris. He's here about what he thinks of that. Is that a scandal that he says that he got a message from God? Lots of people pray and decide on their direction.
And I would give him the benefit of the doubt. He was talking to God. Anyone who's in trouble, right? And goes and gets down on their knees. God, help me. Give me guidance and strength. So he was saying Charlie Rangel was talking to God, and God told him, don't get a plea deal. Go and fight it. And then he comes out and it turns out he admits saying, I only used that I exaggerated in the heat of the campaign. He said it just for the show. He himself said that. And then secondly, he says, basically he mocks the idea of praying and getting guidance from God.
Well, he says, I talked to her. That's not mocking.
No, not that.
He kind of laughed it off. He did, in a sense, there make a mockery of the whole concept.
What he said is, God hasn't spoken to me in a long time.
In other words, as if it's a farce.
As if, come on, like, who does God really speak to?
So he was doing that for that campaign speech, just at the podium, letting people know I spoke to God.
I'm not judging his intent there. He himself said that, okay, I didn't really talk to God. In other words, he didn't tell the truth. And then secondly, he went and made a mockery of the idea of getting guidance from God. And that's what's disconcerting about this.
Let's get a little specific, because I hear from Christians sometimes who say, I get a little, and this is Christians saying this to me, I get a little concerned when other people say that they're speaking to God, or God speaks through them. Pat Robertson has been hit for this a lot of times. Is there concern when someone says, you know what, God speaks to me, he doesn't speak to you?
Or even worse, when a politician says, God told me to go to war. Or something like that, right? Or reduce the interest rates, and then you go do it. No, because we have to seek guidance from God, but then you also have to discern. I'm not fallible. I am fallible. I can't just go and get direct messages from God and just act upon them without testing them, whether they're rational. Secondly, getting guidance from other people you trust. And so if God, yes, we should go talk to God and ask him for guidance, but then keep it to yourself what he tells you if you're a politician.
But he said that what Charlie Rangel was backpedaling.
He chuckled it off, too, which was a little uncomfortable.
He said, basically, I think he made a mockery of anyone who would go to guidance and then receive some sort of guidance or wisdom from God.
See, I saw it differently. I saw that if he did consult God, and then when he was called on it because of what you're talking about, the politicians shouldn't say things like that, that's when he made the political statement.
He said he hadn't prayed in a long time, correct?
Yeah, he said I exaggerated, and it's true. He hasn't spoken to me. God doesn't speak to me since a long time. So, in other words, he was saying, okay, I just did it for the show.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right, Alice.
No, it's hard to interpret. There's somebody else's conversation with God. It's hard to interpret. But
the she part was interesting, too.
We're trying to get a transcript.
Yes.
Just to recap Fox and Friends' point, Democrats should never mock God. Loyal, puppy dog conservatives like their own Clayton Morris? Let's see if it bothers them.
We're trying to get a transcript from God this morning. I think I got it in my ear. We're going to get that. Father Jonathan Morris, always great to see you.
Very good. Thank you, guys.